What's going on, world? DS1 Ross. Back once again, family. Got a late night show for the family. Told y'all I was coming right back with another topic. Another good topic that I think we definitely need to touch on. You know? So we here, family. Let some more people come in the building, get acquainted, and we're gonna be ready to build on this topic tonight. Yeah, family. We here. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. Everybody that's watching. Shout out to everybody. To the known and the unknowns. Shout out to y'all. And tonight, on tonight's late night show on Sheep Stay Sleep Live, that's Sheep Stay Sleep Live, we're going to talk about body shaming. Body shaming, family. You know, this is something that is very, very important, but I think it's a touchy subject. It's very, very touchy, especially for our women, because you're dealing with body types, shapes, complexions, sizes. So this is a very touchy subject. Very, very touchy. But, excuse me, y'all. But that's me, DS1. And I like to touch on subjects that I know people like to call it taboo. Because, see, I think having the tough conversations about the tough things are going to get us through tough situations. As the melanated family on earth, we go through a lot of tough situations every day. We deal with tough things, man. So I always believe that having those conversations that's touchy, that's taboo, is going to lead to some understanding. It's going to lead to some form of healing. You see? And this is why I touch on the topics that I do, family. I don't touch on any of these topics to alienate anyone. I don't touch on any of these topics to destroy anyone. That's not me. So understand that, family. I touch on these topics because I really want us to heal. And trust and believe, when you guys have y'all input, it helps me heal too. It edifies me also. And see, that's the purpose of having healthy dialogue. That's the purpose of it. And this is why I deal with the topics that I deal with. I'm not afraid to go there because I'm not afraid to go there with myself. I'm not afraid to go that in depth. And that's what we have to start doing, family. We have to start going into depth. Stop running from the conversations that you know need to be had. You know? So tonight we're going to talk about body shaming and the effects that it has on us on a daily basis. See, our appearance a lot of times affect the way we feel about each other or feel about ourselves. And see, body shaming is one of the things that really, really affects our women. Our women is plagued by this. You see, this is why we need to have this discussion. You know, a lot of us men could be in relationships who are ashamed of their bodies. They could be in relationships with women like that. How do you make your lady feel comfortable with her body, with her body type, with her body shape, how she's shaped? You see? See, a lot of times we get comfortable and we just accept things. We accept it till it becomes normal. You see? And a lot of our women who get body shamed, they're used to it. A lot of women body shame themselves. They body shame each other. This is a very important topic, man. Body shaming is something that our women is really plagued with now, but us men, we don't really see it. But what shows and proves that they're plagued with this problem is all of these body augmentations that our women are going out and getting. You have women that have nice assets that want to add to it because of the body shaming that goes on between women. So they add more. And a lot of our women are dying at the behest of these things, you know? And see, all this comes from the lack of self-esteem, the lack of confidence, feeling like nobody never accepted you the way you are. You see? So what our women did rather was they internalized it and they went out and they started to seek this fantasy body. And this is why you have the cosmetic industry and all of this plastic surgery and all of this stuff going haywire in the Black community dealing with our women. And it's all because they're ashamed of their bodies. You see? See, once a Black woman was praised for having a nice fat behind. But see, There was a certain time when black women who had big butts were alienated. Pay attention to the in the video to that song, I like big butts and I cannot lie. Watch the beginning of the video. They're shaming the girl with the big butt. They're shaming her. And that's what happened to our women. They were shamed for having big hanging breasts. They were shamed for having a shapely behind, having nice hips, having thick thighs. And then what happened was all of these Caucasian women went and got all those things augmented on their bodies. And now they're the standard of beauty. Now you got black women going to these cosmetic people and getting these surgeries telling them they want to ass like Kim K. But Kim K wanted to ass like a black woman. You see? We have to stop this, family. We have to stop shaming our women and making our women feel ashamed too because of their bodies. And we have to stop following what they say we should follow. Because at one point, big women were not glorified. But now, pardon me, y'all, with Drake saying he like his women BBW, now you have the explosion of men who like big women. Now, you've always had men that liked big women, but a lot of men were ashamed to admit it because fat people are shamed in society. It's not cool to be a person with weight on them. I know I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. And I've been a big guy my whole life. I used to be ashamed to be big. When I was young, I was. I wanted to have muscles. I wanted to be the muscular guy, you know? And see, I just felt like that because that's what the girls said they liked. Until I started getting older and I started dealing with more and more women. And I started to see that everybody got their own taste. There's a market for big dudes. A lot of women like big men. A lot of men like big women. So it's no need for us to feel ashamed anymore about anything. There's more big women out here getting taken care of than the slimmer women. Most big women nowadays are married. They got 4 or 5 children by a man. He taking care of home. I see a lot of single and lonely, slimmer women. And see, little do we know, even those women get body shamed. Skinnier women. Because skinnier women are told They don't have any assets. What man gonna want you? You got a bird chest. So even the slimmer women get shamed. And see, a lot of Caucasian girls and women of other race groups, they get caught up in anorexia and bulimia because of body shaming. Because a lot of Caucasian women think that if you weigh 100 pounds, you're healthy. If you weigh 100 pounds, you're beautiful. You're the standard of beauty. And a lot of Caucasian women are raised like that from young girls. So they develop eating disorders because they don't want to gain any weight, because they don't want to be called fat. So it's even the skinnier girls. Body shaming is on all levels. It's just not the big guy or the big woman. It's the skinnier girls too. You know? So I'm gonna go to this article. I'm gonna pull this article up real quick, and I'm gonna just give y'all, just a little supporting details on some things. You know? And this is an article from CNN back in June 2015. And Lady Gaga said this at the Super Bowl number 51 halftime show. She said, "I'm proud of my body, and you should be proud of yours too." You see? So right there, she made a statement about body shaming and how people of her weight suffer from it too. Skinny women suffer from body shaming too. It's not just, for plus size women. It's for the slimmer women too. They suffer from it too. So we have to understand, family, it's not a size thing. It's not because you're fat or you're considered chubby or whatever that you're the only person that deals with body shaming. Skinny people do too. And now I'm going to even the playing field up even more. A lot of people think body shaming is just dealing with women, but a lot of our men suffer from body shaming too. I was one. you know I was ashamed of my weight. I was ashamed of my size. I never thought it was cool. I never felt it was sexy, you know? But as you get older and you start to learn things about life, you start to see and accept things. And see, that's what we have to begin to do. Stop being ashamed of who you are and love yourself. Because trust and believe, other people are going to see that you're ashamed of who you are. We can't keep saying Black power. There's no power in shame. Deep down inside, if you feel ashamed of yourself, you can't express power. You see? So if you're not happy with yourself, change the way you look. But you first must accept the way you look now and work on yourself. But you got to love yourself no matter how you look, because your body type could change. Your weight could change, but you're never going to change. You're going to always be you. So don't let no one shame you into thinking you're less than a person or you're not good enough. You're not worthy of things because you're skinny, because you're fat, because you got big breasts, because you got big feet. Don't let people shame you into that, family. Because that leaks out into other areas in our lives. You see? And one thing that it says it leads into is eating disorders. People have eating disorders because of this. They become stressed out and they eat more or they don't eat at all, which leads to obesity or anorexia, bulimia. You see? And see, to tie it into the men, a lot of men that carry weight on them, they start to feel as they get older, because they usually say that most men, they put on more weight as they get older. And it says that most who are who suffer from body shaming, a lot of times they don't like to they don't like to be highly sexually active. They're ashamed of how their body is. So they abstain from sex, you know? And that's never good for our women. It's never good for us. Even the man with the weight on him. Sex is the best exercise. So that's just some details on how body shaming affects us, you know? And like I said, I'm a big guy myself. I've suffered from this for years. I didn't really, I didn't really get over this I got a lot, until I got out of like high school, you know? That's when I really had a realization on life. And that usually happens to a lot of people. They start to look at life different once they know that they about to graduate high school. And that's what I decided to do. See, because when you become proud of who you are and how you look, when you wake up in the morning, it gives you a form of freedom. It gives you peace when you're around people too. Because see, when you're ashamed of yourself, a lot of times you like to hide from people. You like to not speak. You don't like to express yourself because you really think people focused on your weight and not what you're saying out your mouth. You see? And I had to see that in myself, that who I am is going to overshadow how I look to some people. And to some people, how I look may overshadow who I am. And it's okay. See, we have to be okay with ourselves. We have to be confident. And we have to know who we are. Because see, when you know who you are at the core of you, what somebody could say about you on the outside, it would never affect you like that. But if you unsure of who you are and your capabilities, anything somebody say could hurt you. And especially people with certain body shapes and body types, that's the first thing a person know to say to a person. You know? That's the first thing somebody would say to me when I was young. Shut your fat ass up. First thing a person to tell me. And I used to feel bad when I was young. When I was little, I used to feel bad. But you know what I learned how to do? I know how to crack jokes back. You see? So I started kicking that shit back at them. You see? Because what I started to do was I started to develop a confidence in myself to say, all right, you fat. And what else could they say? You see? Once you get past me being fat, then what? See, and then I have a barrage full of jokes coming behind your one fat joke. You see? We have to grow from things, family. We have to grow from things. We cannot let our appearance affect who we are. You see? And this is why the Bible tell you, come as you are. Because if you come as you are, that's how you can become better. So if you ashamed of your body, figure out why. If you don't like your body, figure out what you don't like about it. And if you don't like it that much, you'll do something about it. You see? Let's find ways to combat our issues. This is why I speak about the topics that I speak about, family. Because these things are plaguing us. Body shaming also leads into drug abuse. Because it takes you out of the mind of you focusing on your flaws. So you use drugs to hide it. So you don't think about it. So you don't focus on it. You see? So we have to understand, family, how body shaming is affecting our community. You know, we have children committing suicide because they're being teased, being called names, body shaming them, fat shaming, skinny shaming, color shaming. It's all part of body shaming, y'all. It's all part of body shaming. So I'm gonna throw the link out here in the chat, y'all. You know, if anybody want to come on and chop it up about this subject, you know, y'all could chime in before I sign off for the night. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Good looking for coming through and showing love, man. I appreciate it. You know, it's late. Pardon me. It's late. It's a school night. It's a work night, you know. So shout out to everybody in the chat. who stayed up and they rocking with me, you know? Shout out to everybody that's watching that ain't commenting too. Shout out to y'all too. Peace to my man John Doe. 118, peace. JT, peace, brother. Africa Davis, peace. Boss, peace, my brother. Jalen, peace, bro. Andatola, peace. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. Everybody. I threw the link in the chat. I'm gonna wait for a little minute, see if anybody want to come on and touch on this topic. You know? Now the woman the woman who played um the girl on Precious, Gabby Sidibe, you could tell that Hollywood fat shamed her because if you notice, a lot of the hefty women who play good roles and they made remarkable moves in Hollywood. If you notice, they always make them lose weight. Look what happened to Jennifer Hudson. She's like irrelevant now because she was better a thick woman. People accepted her more. Her voice was stronger. It's like when she lost that weight, she lost everything else. But in Hollywood, they did with body shaming. So if you're gonna be on a television screen, you're gonna have to weigh a certain amount. You see, they made Rick Ross lose weight. You see? It's all about body shaming. Peace, my brother.
What up with it?
I'm coolin', bro. What you think of this topic, man?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a hot topic, you know. We was chopping it up earlier about this, you asked me. See, there was a point in time like you was talking about where the white man, he wanted chalkboard back Becky, chalkboard back Brenda, and made and called the sisters who was thick and had it going on back there. It made it seem like they was fat. And now, in the last few years, Kim K come with the Play-Doh booty, then being thick came in. But see, the thing, what happened was it just flipped back, and a lot of people didn't catch it. Now, all of a sudden, the white man telling you being thick, it was just cool for a minute. But all of a sudden, the white man saying now, oh, being thick is unhealthy.
Mm, that's big, bro.
You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, the white man talking about being thick is not healthy. So now you got women who was thick, you know, now they going to the gym, and you see them now, they done lost all that, you know. But you notice the white man never mentioned back in the day that you know, backdoor, back chalkboard Brenda. He didn't never preach that that was unhealthy. That was the best thing.
Exactly. See, people don't understand, bro, when they push in a specific narrative. You see, Kim Kardashian was used to usher in this new form of fake woman. That's why, if you notice, she always fucked athletes in the beginning. She started out with Reggie Bush, and that was to get black men like us, because we into sports, most black men are. That was to get us looking at that body type and to get us used to looking at it on white women. You see, this is how you have the BBW. They never called our black women BBW. They
Right.
called them fat, but they call white women BBWs. You see, now our women run around saying, I'm not fat, I'm a BBW. And BBW stands for big, beautiful woman.
Right.
But why was that term only created for white women? Because they wanted black men who liked big, beautiful women to see white big women as that standard.
Right.
When most black men have big, beautiful women in their family. Everybody got a big ass aunt, a big ass grandmother, a big ass
Right.
cousin. You know, that's the norm for us. But they teaching us to be ashamed of them, but to hold up the big boned white women. So it's just another way of them pushing us away from our women. You feel
Yeah,
what I'm saying, bro?
yeah, you definitely own to something with that, you know? And then, a lot of the problem too, you know, with that being said, you got a lot of big women that's promiscuous because take this black and mild out of my mouth. Um, they out here because they want to be accepted now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know that old school shit when, back when we was in school when when you had them women that was just giving it up just cause you was telling them they was cute.
Right.
You know that junior high bullshit. But a lot of that is still going on in adult life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a disease to be accepted.
Mm.
It's a disease.
That's
You
big
know?
what you saying, bro.
I
That's true,
mean,
man.
all our bodies is different. I mean, ain't no getting around it. So how you gonna let somebody tell you, what you need to do with your body unless it's really, really harming you?
That goes into what you said earlier, bro. It goes into how they push the narrative of, if you weigh a certain amount, you're not healthy.
Right.
So that starts to make people with weight on them look at their weight as being something nasty, disgusting,
Right.
you know, because you looking at it as waste, because that's what they're telling you it is,
Right.
you know, when in certain instances, it's actually good to have meat on your bones because it protects you and insulates you. But if we constantly fed that is unhealthy, we're going to become unhealthy in our behavior. And this is why I was talking about how it leads to eating disorders. Some people hate their bodies so much because they got a little weight on them and they eat and become obese. And then you have some people who hate their bodies, so they stop eating and become anorexic. So, like you said, it's a disease that becomes accepted by a person because they're ashamed of who they are. So they may eat more food or stop eating food as a coping mechanism to feel like they're changing themselves. You feel me, bro?
Exactly, bro. That's just like when you know them people who time you ask them, what you eat today or something like that, they ain't ate. They ain't, you know, they ain't have an appetite. Like how you just a whole day you don't have an appetite to eat, and you don't think nothing wrong with that? Wouldn't think to go get that checked out?
Mm.
Nah, ain't nothing wrong with your ass. You know, you on some other shit. You got basketball players, you got athletes, period. We went to, especially the ones we went to school with in high school. All they did was eat junk. Every time you turned around, you could catch them at McDonald's, Burger King, somewhere fast food. But the key to it was that they was active, so they could eat that shit, and it really ain't gonna mean nothing to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a female right now. Was just getting on my nerves. Last couple months talking about her weight, and she don't even need to lose none. She was nice, thighs and all. Man, she sent me a picture, of her, in a dress, not too long ago. Man, she looking like Skeletor, bro.
Damn.
And think and thinking this shit cool.
Talking about she healthier now.
Right. Looking like Skeletor and shit, bro. Like,
She don't know
and
you. She turns you off, bro.
facts. You know, you done went from healthy, you brainwashed to think you ain't healthy. Now you're damn near unhealthy.
Exactly. And if anything, you definitely mentally unhealthy because you made somebody change. You let somebody's opinion of you change your whole concept of yourself.
With some people, I don't even think it's other people's opinion. It's about it. It's about that little box they built in their own mind.
Right. Touch on that, bro. That's important.
When people start looking themselves in the mirror, you know, and saying I'm unhealthy, like I said, listening to the white man, listening to other people. And then it's crazy because the fast food is cheaper, but the shit they telling us to eat is that shit is expensive. I mean, when you saying something about they was spraying shit in the soil, you was saying how some of this organic food ain't right either.
Oh yeah, bro. Everybody look up Monsanto. Everybody who out here who think they eating the organic fruits and vegetables, them people poisoned the soil. So just know you eating poison regardless. Because if they poison the soil, I don't care how organic you think your apple is, it was grown in poison soil. So they don't have to spray the fruits and vegetables with pesticides no more. They could just use a company to provide you made up soil. So once again, they have you thinking you eating healthy. You know how many people done died from cancer that go to Whole Foods, still dying from cancer?
Facts, bro. One of my homies from my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Pack. His birth. Matter of fact, his birthday was over the weekend, and I mean, this dude. I met him back when I was in like the fifth grade, bro. And this dude walked around with milk. That's all he drunk growing up. You wouldn't catch him with no pop. You wouldn't catch him with no soda. He was always on milk, drinking milk. That's all he did. Back when we was, go to McDonald's, you know, he would buy a sandwich, but he'd take the bun off and eat the meat. Weird shit like that. Man, do you know he ended up with diabetes? You know what I'm saying? And then he ended up having to get the machine in his arm.
Mm,
He had to get that machine. Man, bro, shit, like 2002, we graduated in 2000. A couple years later, he passed away.
damn, that's crucial, man. And that goes to show you just gotta live life. All that thinking that we gonna have everything perfect, that's not what life is about. You gotta live life. And we need to focus on that. Let's stop trying to get it perfectly correct. Because it's never gonna be that way.
Shit, you got people ain't never took a smoke in their life, died from cancer.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You got people that's in shape that die from heart attacks.
Exactly.
But people like to equate weight with heart attacks, you know? But every time I go get my heart checked, they tell me my heart is beating well. It functions very well, especially for me to be a person at the weight I'm at. They expect me to have a weak heartbeat. You know, they expect me to be breathing a certain way, and I'm not, you know? So stop thinking that weight has something to do with health. Stop believing that, y'all. It's not true.
Yeah, man. You know, you just can't sit up. Like I said, people die crazy ways you'll never think. You know, I guess eating food, period, is gonna kill you. Cause they say this and that ain't good for you, but this and that is good for you. But it's always some trickery with that.
Exactly. That's why I say we just need to live and just know that death is part of life. So let's stop trying to get it perfect, you know? And that even goes into how we think we should look. However you look is the way you look. If you're not
Right.
happy about it and you want to do something about it, then do it.
Right. Change it.
Right. But just know that there's somebody out there for everybody. There's a market for your type, you know? Because I see a lot of beautiful women with dudes that I would say is ugly. But you feel me? But there's a market for ugly dudes. Or that dude could just be ugly because I think so. But homegirl that he with, she don't think so. You know? Just like there's a market for big dudes.
Man, bro, hold on, bro. Man, she know her nigga look like OG Bobby Johnson.
Who you talking about, bro? What's going on in the chat, man?
Nah, when you said that the woman, she might think he look good to her.
Yeah, I mean, some of these women be thinking these Shabba Ranks niggas be handsome. Real talk, bro. You know, so and that even goes into the body parts. You know, don't feel bad because your ass ain't that fat. It's dudes out here that don't want all that ass back there on a woman. You know, growing up, I was a titty guy. Still am. I love titties.
Mm.
But there's guys out there that don't even pay attention to a woman titties. So we gotta just understand that there's somebody for everybody. So we shouldn't be ashamed of how we look. And if you really have a problem with it, do something about it. You know?
Mhm.
If not, just accept it and move on. Like I said, I've been a big dude my whole life. So it ain't nothing new to me. I'm comfortable in my skin.
Mhm.
I don't have no problem with the ladies. None of that. You know, when I was younger, I used to feel like women didn't like me because I was big. But when I got older, I realized that that was just me shaming myself.
Yeah.
You know, I was selling myself short. I missed out on a lot of other women being ashamed of my body.
Mm.
You know, and some people could see that and they won't fuck with you for that.
Mhm.
You know, some people be like, some women will be like, man, this nigga always paying attention to his weight. Why am I with him then? He ain't got no confidence.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all about self confidence.
Right. And women don't like men that are not confident.
Yeah.
Man, bro, that's just like with his men, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, Sister Honey Child, she had, everything was right. Thighs, everything was right.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, she so My Little Pony about her shit. She,
Right.
in the gym all the time, all this and that. And like I said, I ain't seen her in a minute, so she sent me a picture, bro. You know, I'm, I sent back nice picture, but I'm like, damn, like, did you have to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
And see, I think that I think that ties in to with this love and hip hop shit, man. A lot of these women are getting influenced by this shit.
Yeah.
They starting to think that every man's supposed to like them. And this is why they dealing with all of these surgeries. These women want to be attracted to, they want to be attracted by every man.
It's like they walk down this carpet and they want everybody to like them.
Right.
And the
Man,
sad
bro,
thing
I'm
about it,
seeing
not all
shit
is
on
not like
TV where, I'm seeing shit on TV where women getting fix a flat in their asses.
yeah.
Dying from that shit.
And then there's
You know
some
what I'm saying?
yeah.
I seen that shit on the internet, man.
You know, getting getting cement, putting their face and shit, bro.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it on the internet. I think I seen it on. Matter of fact, it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Super
think that's what
glue.
I seen it at. Yeah, and girl, old girl, did she die from it? I think, and her people trying to get some money.
Yeah, cause the trainee that did the surgery, you
Right, they're
know,
trying to get. Yeah, go ahead, bro. I'm listening. Go ahead.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit crazy. Like this
Yeah,
shit
I
mean
seen that
that shit mean that much to you that bad?
shit. Right. I mean, I ain't gonna even lie. I don't discriminate. If I see a sister and she's cool, I'll be at her, man. I mean, that's just me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I love all my queens, man. They all it ain't none too,
Yeah. See.
especially if
Yeah. See.
you about your business. That's how I feel. They be, I mean, I'm up in Cleveland, man. There's a lot of females that's about their business up here,
Yeah. Like.
and and
Like.
and
Oh,
and,
you in
and
the land, huh?
yeah, I'm in the land.
Oh,
And,
okay. I'm about an hour or so from you. I'm in Warren.
oh, you in Warren right there? Yeah, I seen you post that up. We need to link up, man.
Yeah.
Come up here, man, to give me some of that work up there in Warren. I do brick and masonry work.
Okay.
I do masonry work, man, concrete, whatever it is, and I get an elderly, a certain type of prices. You know what I'm saying? Because we just want to try to pay for our travel and get exposed. That's what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Just get
that's
my
what's up.
name out here. Let my people know that we will travel, pay for our travel expenses and your material, and we're gonna get the job done.
Okay, okay. So you know you in East Cleveland, then I take it.
East Cleveland? No, I'm in Cleveland. I'm all
Okay,
around
okay,
Cleveland. I ain't just in East Cleveland.
okay. Unc Suge Cleveland too. Okay, okay.
Yeah, Cleveland
We,
on me. Cleveland ain't that big, but I'm all around. I'm well known around the whole Cleveland. I'm actually from Cedar in Cleveland.
okay,
I'm familiar with the Cedar area.
okay, okay. I'm more familiar. You know, all my people and stuff is in East Cleveland.
Okay, where at in East Cleveland?
Man, off of there, off of Urbana. You know what I'm
Oh, for
saying?
Urbana? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know where that.
You
I
know,
know
over
exactly
there.
where that.
Yeah, off of St. Clair, all that. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Sinclair. Yeah, I'm
you
familiar with
know.
all of them areas, man. I'm well known around the community because I do a lot of work, man, and I'm
But you know
trying
what
to.
I love about your city, though, bro? And I've
Mm-hmm.
always said this growing up, you know, coming in and out. You know, Cleveland is a black city, man.
It's
You
a
know what I'm
black
saying?
city, man, and they shooting us, and they shoot each other up, man.
Yeah, I know that,
This
but
shit
you
crazy up
know,
here, man. It's crazy.
I know definitely,
It's almost like Chicago up here, man. Almost,
definitely,
man.
definitely. And
Shit, this
see,
shit crazy.
a lot of people, when they think of Cleveland, they don't understand it's different parts. You
Yeah,
know, when you go to East Cleveland, that's a whole nother galaxy,
yeah.
and you
That's a whole
gonna
nother
know.
galaxy. Yeah. That's
You
a
ain't
whole
even got
other
to do
galaxy from Mooresville, from Shaker, from
right,
Miles, the Miles area, and then you got the St. Clair Superior. Man,
right,
I mean, everything different. Everybody different.
right, definitely,
Man, that shit
and I
crazy.
always respected it because you know a lot of black kids, men, you know what I'm saying, girls and boys down in Cleveland, man, they got jobs, man. You know,
Yeah, they
and a
do.
lot of people don't understand that, you know what I'm saying? One thing
They
about,
do.
you know, teenagers in Cleveland, you know, they'll go to work.
Yeah, they will work. That's one thing about them. They will work, man. You ain't lying about that.
You know, definitely, you know.
Yeah, 'cause they know they got to do something to get by. It ain't that you want to do it, but that you have to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So so being that y'all brothers touching on the youth right now, how do y'all think body shaming affects the youth?
Body shaming affects the youth tremendously. Body shaming, you talking about as far as expose the way they expose themselves out here. As far as they, man, I just seen this dude. I don't know if it was a woman or a dude. I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
driving down the street and I happen to look over and got motherfucking little breasts, but it looks like a man. So what? I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, DS, because this shit's crazy out here. This is crazy, man.
Mm.
You never
Well,
know.
well,
If you
what
go
you do?
downtown Cleveland on a late night, you gonna get some. You gonna get your issue down there. 'Cause there's gonna be something to everything. No lie.
I mean, that's big what you saying because I noticed that there's a high influx of boys, young boys dressing like girls, and young
Mhm.
girls dressing like boys.
Mhm.
See, a lot of that goes into body shaming too.
Yeah, it does. That's why I asked, what did you mean by when you say body shaming? Because I see it all up here. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. I just rolled past not even 40 minutes ago, man. Right before it got dark, and I looked over to the side, and then I didn't know had little breasts. I didn't know if it was a man or a woman. Didn't know.
Right.
I'm like, wow. It was crazy.
Yeah, and see, I think that's that's a very big thing, and that ties into like the molestation thing too.
Yeah.
A lot of times with the youth that's getting molested and stuff, they're they're trying to look like the opposite sex so they don't be attacked. So these
Mm-hmm.
young girls is dressing like boys so the men don't want to touch them.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, I ain't think about it like that.
And then
I
you got the young boys that's dressing like girls because the men that's molesting them, they don't know that those men are touching girls too. So
mm-hmm.
they thinking, well, if I look like a girl, he not gonna want to touch me because he like boys.
Right, right.
So the boys go and look like girls.
Wow. See, man, what we gotta do? I'm so glad, man. I mean, I got 5 boys. None of them has went that route. They all know that they masculine men and growing
Mm,
up to be masculine men. You know what I'm saying? Alpha men. I'm an alpha male all day. I be hearing y'all talking about beta and alpha. I mean, I know I'm an alpha male. I do what I'm supposed to do. I teach my boys, and I teach my 2 daughters the same thing. Well, opposite. But
mm-hmm.
is that me back in dubbing up? Somebody dubbing up.
Now it's all good, bro. Keep going.
Oh, okay. All right. But I'm just saying, man, we need to get out here and teach our youth as a community, like it was back in the day. Like when I grew up, you know what I'm saying? When I grew up and I was in my neighborhood right here on 95th and Cedar, the whole street, you know what I'm saying? The whole street could chastise you in a certain way. Hello?
I hear you, bro.
Yeah. And the whole street could chastise you in a certain way. And when you got home and your parents find out, you know what I'm saying, you got chastised again. And it was the same way, man, when I was growing up on 95th and Cedar, man. I had a beautiful childhood. I can't even sit up here and say that my childhood was crazy. Me and my brother sit up and talk to this day, like how our childhood was when we was growing up. Our childhood is totally different from what's growing up today. We went outside, we built club houses, go karts. You know what I'm saying? We just did it. It was, and I look at the childhood today and the way they growing up, it's just different. They got we in the millennium of the whiz kids. We really got to call them the whiz kids. When we was growing up, we used to look at the cartoons with the whiz kids and stuff all on there. Now we seeing that with the kids today.
See what it is, bro. And I gotta speak up for, the young black sisters, you know what I'm saying? Our queens, our young queens and baby queens.
Mm.
A lot of them, they get caught up in, they start giving themselves away early for acceptance.
Mm-hmm. Well, how? I'm don't not meaning to cut you off, but my first son was born. I'm gonna tell you, I was 15. I was 15. My son is 24 now. He graduated from high school. He working for a nice corporation right now. My daughter is 18. She is in college and she working. I got another son that's 17. He goes to the School of Science. He's the artist. And then I got my other school. He go to what's that, AOA, Andrew Osborne Academy. He played basketball. He been starting point guard since he was in the 9th grade. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. As far as me growing up and me raising my kids, I think I did. I made the right decision. I didn't think that then, but now I appreciate what happened. You understand what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate what happened now. I didn't understand it then. I was struggling as a kid. I was always working. I graduated high school and I just had to go get me a job because I had kids early. Children. I mean, should I say? You know what I'm saying? I had my children early in life, but I right now I feel like I'm reaping the benefits of them. They all doing decent. Because me and their mother sat there in their life and we raised them together. You know? I mean, it was hard, but we did it.
Salute.
Yep.
You know, we just got, people just got to learn to accept yourself.
Exactly.
You got to accept yourself before you accept anything.
Yep.
You got to know who you are.
Exactly.
You know, if you want to change things in your life, change them and make sure you change them to where it's not a pond on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people are stressed out trying to work out every single day. And then, got to put on Facebook and shit. Oh, I've been working out for 3 hours. You ask
Right.
me, that's too long. When you
Yeah, 3
got,
hours.
when you got brothers on the yard in the pen, they only got 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell
So,
you, bro.
so,
I got 3 numbers, man, for how I'm selling drugs. 3. I'm refused to go back, and I know my skills. My hands is
right.
my skills, bro. I know what I can do with these. I can fix anything, do anything. We just gotta know it and do it. Apply ourselves and teach our youth at the same time. That's what I'm about, man. I'm about teaching the youth. I want these young brothers to learn my skills. I got them. I'm willing to teach them. Tell them to come to Cleveland and fuck with Rev Chat. I'm right here, man. They want to learn the brick mason trade. I'm right here to teach them. Anything about it, anything they want to know about it.
That's what's up, bro.
Yep.
And that takes a level of confidence, brother. You cannot be ashamed of yourself in any way. You
Yeah.
know, and a lot of people don't understand how people like yourself and people like us in general, how we make it through life. Some people look at us like, damn, how could you be so strong? I've had people tell me that I'm not strong like you. And I tell them, yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you here right now talking to me, that means you've overcome most of the shit that you telling me you couldn't.
Exactly. I agree with
But
that.
see, it takes a level of confidence for you to say that to yourself. It takes a level of confidence to say, I survived. I've overcame something. It took a
Mm-hmm.
level of confidence for you to say, I'm out here willing to teach these young boys what I know. Because at one point, you was teaching people the wrong things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with you, DS, 100%.
You feel me? And
Yeah.
it had to take a level of confidence for you to say, listen, I don't want to do this no more. I know there's something inside of me that's better than this.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot teach that if we still ashamed of certain things.
Facts. Facts. If we hiding something too, you can't hide nothing, man. You got to let it all out. And
Exactly.
Stop trying to look like the shit you see on TV.
exactly,
That's what it's
man.
for.
I
It's,
see
it's
so many
entertainment.
people doing it right up here in my city. They doing it. You want to look like you see something you see on TV. I was so happy when my girl said I'm going all natural. I was so happy when she said it, man. I kept telling her for years. She was wearing weave, wearing weave, wearing weave. I'm like, baby, oh, my hair falling out, my hair falling out. I say, quit wearing that bullshit in your head. Seriously, man.
But
Quit
see,
wearing that shit.
it took her, it took her to get to a certain level of confidence and stop being ashamed of how she would look naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Because on TV, the women that are glorified are not naturally beautiful women.
They not, man. I be looking at the women on TV. Man, I don't even watch it. I just look at the watch it to see the disgust in these women that's looking like, man, nothing. I don't even know what these women look like. I don't even know what a natural woman look like no more. If you look at TV,
Exactly.
seriously, man, it's a shame. I be like, she fake titties, fake face, fake hair, fake lips, fake everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bleaching their skin, all of that. I'm like, come on, man.
And see a female like that, you ain't even got to call her out her name. You could just tell her, shut your fake ass up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she gonna know what you're talking about. You gonna hit her where it hurt too when you say it to her. Like everything about
But
me fake. My ass fake, my titties fake, my skin fake, my lips fake, my eyes fake. I got on fake eyelashes.
but look how,
Everything. Her.
but look how they combat that though, brothers. They could say, yeah, I'm fake, but I bet you I could fuck all your friends.
Right,
Right.
right.
That's funny, man. That's funny, man. I'm serious, but all of my friends are one hear this. I wouldn't though. I wouldn't hit
And
her,
then,
man.
and then you can hit her with, okay, baby. Well, they do make styrofoam for everybody.
Right. They do. They do. Like they was talking about. I don't mean to bring this up, but man, I forget the brother that was on side talking about Nicki Minaj. Man, I wouldn't hit Nicki, man. I wouldn't.
Hell no, bro. I can't
Man, I wouldn't
imagine
touch
Meek
Nicki,
Mill.
man. I wouldn't touch
Bro,
her. I
I,
wouldn't touch
I,
her, man.
I would like to ask Meek Mill, like, yo, what was going on in your mind
Man, thank you.
when you was handling business with her
Man,
and
come on,
her
man.
ass, and her ass blew up? You know, it was a sign that came out that said bang. Like, brother, did you sleep that night?
But see, it's it's the fake that fake produce.
Mm-hmm.
Meek Mills is a fraud. So of course he'll go get him a fake girlfriend because he fake. He fake like he the super street guy, and he not. So he went and got him a fake woman, a
so
fake
you
that fake
saying,
produce.
bro, he was just as fake as his woman's ass.
Hold on, man. I gotta get this right. Y'all boys crazy.
For real, for real.
Yeah.
He was just as fake as his woman's ass.
I couldn't believe it when the one sister she had Fix-A-Flat put in her ass. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, man, she didn't know though. It wasn't her fault. She didn't know, but that tranny woman or whatever put that Fix-A-Flat and glue and all kind of shit in her. Yeah, man, I seen that shit on the tube. She died right because behind that.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah, she died behind that. I seen it, man. I'm like, come on, man. Her brothers and her mom and them is trying to get money behind that.
Yeah, and she going to the pen. She about to be kicking it with the female off of the Orange Is the New Black.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she about to do. Yeah,
Wow. Come with a tranny dude.
yeah, training. Yeah, it's over for him.
Mm. Oh yeah, going to jail.
One female, like I said earlier, had whoever she went to had put cement in her face.
Yeah, that rubber cement. It was that rubber cement. They put that rubber cement in their face. Mhm.
These women spending these women spending new cars and new houses on trying to
Man,
look good.
hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro. Hundreds of thousands. Look it up, man. It's on there.
The
They spending
cosmetic
hundreds of thousands of
industry.
dollars. And you know that the hair weave industry is a $1 billion a year industry. Just for on hair weave. Yeah.
I see my issue with the weave thing is
It's a $1 billion a year industry, bro.
it is, you know what I'm saying? But to me it's like, women, they got their own thing, that's something that they do, you know what I'm saying? I don't really
But
think that, it's a big issue because, that's something that they do with their styles
I for,
and
I forget who had that live stream on that. But I was asking them, how can we produce our own hair? Because they're not going to stop wearing it. It's not going to stop. They're not going to stop wearing that hair, man. It's not going to stop. There's too many of them wearing it.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy because you got them brothers out there that no homo. They might not be blessed down there, but you don't never too much hear about them running and going to get surgery to to get their 13-footer. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
Like
right.
them type of brothers. They just they just deal with the shit.
Them type of brothers usually got a lot of paper. And you got to pay for it. Okay, I'm gonna pay for it, get my eyes off and keep it moving.
These women, they like, man, I'm about to save up the next 10 income tax checks.
Yeah, right, just to get a breast reduction or a breast injection or a butt injection or something. Like look at T.I. White Tiny, man. Tiny looked terrible.
Oh man.
She didn't look like that when she was with that group. She didn't look like that when she was young.
Yeah, now she looking like a Sloth from the Goonies.
Man, she looked terrible. Seriously, I see why T.I. left her ass. Everybody thinking she left T.I. Dog. T.I. got tired of that shit. Like, come on, bitch. You ain't about to keep, excuse my friend. I ain't about to keep doing that. Seriously, you're not about to keep doing that. I'm sick of it.
I bet he did,
I'm sick of it.
And all that facial surgery and
Man,
all that
injection,
bullshit.
facial, her nose messed up. Man, she looked terrible.
It's like this. You that buying that fake shit ain't even worth it. When we hear about celebrities and stuff that be having to go back and get the same shit 2 or 3
Get the
different
same.
times.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. What's going on with that Janet Jackson issue? Did y'all see about that?
Yeah, I read about that shit, man. You know.
About Janet Jackson going through something with her husband, the white boy.
Yeah, I guess she done bounced on him.
No, I think he bounced on her. He's trying to get some of her money too.
Nah, shit, he got more bread than her.
Oh, do he?
Yeah, he a billionaire.
Oh, I ain't know about. I ain't reading about him.
He worth. They say he worth twice what she worth.
Wow, I ain't know that. I just seen. I knew they were. I seen they was going through some mess, and he trying to expose her and all of that.
You say he trying to expose her?
He trying to do something to her. I got to go back and do it. I ain't about to put nothing out here. I don't know nothing about.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Janet Jackson always, you know, always kept my side eye at her. How crazy she was acting. You know that second. Why did I get married too?
Right.
You know.
Right.
And then you start putting it together. You know the movie. I'm looking at her and seeing how she moving after the fact, and I'm like, man, yeah, Janet touched.
Yeah, she been touched. Yeah, she been touched.
So, bros, we getting ready to close out now. You got anything y'all want to touch on? Y'all want to plug y'all channels before I close out on this topic?
I just want to say I appreciate you, brother DS, man. Keep doing what you're doing, brother, and the other brothers on the panel as well, man. Keep doing what y'all doing. We gotta, Nate. I just want to say we got a community build, man. We have to do something as far as this YouTube stuff. We have to get together, man, and show some people what we doing. We got to show this shit. We got to be more than just YouTube. We have to get out and get together, man. Do a retreat and build something. And I tell every panel this, man. This is what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to connect all around the board, connect my dots all around the board. We connected on YouTube, but we not connect physically to where we can like physically call each other up and touch each other. Like I know he coming if he call me. If I call him, I know he coming. You know what I'm saying? We got to build that type of relationship with each other and that type of rapport. You know what I'm saying, with each other to where we can do business. Then we can begin to do business with each other. Keep our money in each other's hands. We got the resources. We got the segments. We got the Sonetters. We got the Sixth Dynasty. You know what I'm saying? We got these brothers and men in our corner. So we got to start connecting in that type. We got the sci-fis. We got the King, Queen Karasis, the true royal families. You know what I'm saying? We got these people in our resources. We need to connect and do something. This is what I'm about. I'm tired of. I mean, I love y'all on YouTube. I love my YouTube people. I love y'all. But once we start connecting and doing business and letting our money rotate and doing that, then we doing something. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm about. That's what I'm trying to build. That's what I want to be on. As far as that.
No doubt, bro. Salute to you. And I totally agree with what you're saying. You know? But these dialogues, these healthy dialogues that people keep running from, we're not going to ever get to building nothing offline. You know, my motto was heal before we build.
I agree.
You know, if we don't heal from our issues, we're not going to ever build shit. And that's just a fact. You know, but I definitely agree with you, bro, because I'm definitely in alignment with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely agree that and believe that it starts here. It starts with the think tank.
Facts.
We need the architects to set the blueprints to build the buildings. Without an architect, you don't have no directions on how to build.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So you have your
But
builders and then you have your architects. So everybody
what about
plays a different part.
the foundation? Do you think that we got a foundation set, or do we got a structure even in our thoughts, in our path? Can we see a vision? Can we see something? Is what I'm saying. Do we even see anything yet?
At this point, bro, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't see anything. And this is
Mm-hmm.
why I decide to have the topics that I have on my channel, because I like for us to
Mm-hmm.
have conversations that's going to actually help us heal.
Mm-hmm.
I like for us to have conversations on here that can maybe transform or transmit offline.
Right.
This is a conversation a person could have with their wife, a person they could have with their
Mm-hmm.
child. We got to start having productive conversations in
Facts.
order for us to build.
The facts, yeah.
And this and that's the productive conversations is going to lead to a proper foundation being built. We can't build on a faulty foundation. You a
No, you can't
construction
build.
worker, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said, do you even see a structure be in a sight to where we can even see a foundation yet? Because I see, I'm a brother. I ain't gonna even lie. I see a foundation in the making. I see it with all of these channels that we got that's spitting policies, knowledge, and putting the information out here. It's so much positivity that we have. We just have to bring it together. Once we bring this structure together, this YouTube structure together, it's going to blow people's minds all around the world. You can. You got the potential to do it. We have the potential. I see it. We just got to do it. Everybody got money. Everybody around the board is making money in some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
In some kind of way. Once we put this into effect to where we can translate our money towards our people, that's going to be our foundation. It could be done. We got to stop spending money with these white folks. Start spending money with the dude that I forget. So I just had him on his TV the other day. They got to make the tennis shoes. Buy them. We could all wear them. Be rocking them. If you making boots, rock them in the winter. If it get cold in your city. Clothes that our people selling. The construction work that our people doing. If our people got any kind of water, any kind of fruit, any kind of vegetables, we can start translating this shit like that. This is what we trying to do. This is what we need to be thinking about all day. Is how we can connect them dots. Once we start connecting them type of dots, then our foundation is starting to be built.
I agree. Want to touch on that,
We
boss?
got to connect.
We closed out.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, good looking, bro. Me being on the panel, it's always good chopping it up. Peace to everybody. What's up in the chat? Just love yourself. That's the main thing. Love yourself, believe in yourself, trust yourself.
Facts.
Don't go to the extreme to try to look like something.
Facts.
You gotta accept yourself first before you accept trying to turn into somebody else.
I
It
agree
ain't
with that.
about it ain't about what nobody think about you. It's about what you see in the mirror.
I think a lot of people are scared of what they see in the mirror, man. And the reason I say that is because I used to be scared of what I seen in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? I used to be scared of what I seen in the mirror. When I look at myself in the mirror, I couldn't even look myself in the eye in the mirror. And I'm like, and I'm like, what's wrong with that? There was something wrong with me on the inside. So I began to acknowledge myself and for who I was and believe in myself. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not gonna look yourself in that eye in that mirror. You're not gonna do it. You
And
won't give
this is
yourself
why,
a 10-second stare in that
yeah,
mirror. Go ahead, bro. I'm listening.
okay. And just to get my closeout statement, just to touch on what the brothers were saying, you know, if you afraid to look in that mirror and you ashamed to look at yourself, you're never gonna see yourself as a winner. You're never gonna see yourself as having power. So just
Mhm.
saying black power or I love you family and all of those things, you cannot say those things sincerely if you still are ashamed of yourself. And that's on all levels. Let's quit the shaming. Let's stop shaming each other.
Mhm.
And people, stop shaming yourselves, man. Love yourself. You don't love yourself, you can't properly love anyone else. I know it's hard. I understand it's a process. But we have to do this, family, because the children are our future. And if the children are our future, we have to get them ready for it. Because the future is nothing but tomorrow. It's
Fact.
12:08 a.m. The future is 12:09. So let's stop playing, family. Let's start loving ourselves. That's the key. Let's just stop saying we love people because it's easy to say that. Let's really focus on loving ourselves and let's work on ourselves, family. It's all good. It's all good to see flaws, but embrace those flaws and work on them.
Mhm.
And that's what we need in order to properly build, family. That's what we need to build. We need those things. We need the intangibles also. We cannot just build a house or build a building with materials alone or just tangible skills. You need intangible skills like effort, like discipline.
Mhm.
See, those are the things that's going to build structures too. You can have a mason, you can have an architect, you can have a sand guy, a concrete layer, but if none of them people are willing to work and execute and stay the course, then what does all that matter?
Nah, facts.
So
Facts, yeah.
us saying we love each other, us saying black power, but at the root of us, we still ashamed of one another. This is what we have today, family. A bunch of
Yeah.
chaotic nonsense.
That's real talk.
And this is why we disenfranchise, family. So let's get out of the body shaming. Let's get away from the shame, period. Let's start loving ourselves and empowering ourselves. Then we can truly empower one another. So shout out to everybody. Thanks to y'all brothers that came on a panel and showed up. Thanks to everybody in the chat that came through and showed love. I know I did a late show. I know everybody got to go to work tomorrow. Children got to go to school, you know. So shout out to y'all family for coming through and showing love, man. I'm humbly honored, man. Y'all brothers plug y'all channels before we get up out of here. Go ahead, Rev.
Oh, I'm at Rev Chat. You can hit me up on Rev Chat on YouTube. I got a channel on YouTube, Rev Chat. I haven't really posted no videos yet, but they are coming soon. Conscious Community, Conscious Paradigm Construction. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. And that's my construction company. Y'all can hit me up at any time. I'm at John Chapman on Facebook. Y'all can go see my work there. And that's all I have to say right now.
Good looking out, bro.
Yep. Thanks,
Plug
DS. I appreciate you, brother.
No doubt, bro.
Yeah, man, my channel, you know, Boss Ohio Champs. You know, my Hangout channel, you know, Boss Hog Outlaw Hangout. You know, that's where you can find me.
No doubt, y'all. No doubt. So, you know, thanks again, family. You know, I know this was a late show. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. The Sheep Stay Sleep Live. You know, y'all tune in tomorrow. I'll be back again tomorrow. Blessing y'all with another topic with more information so we can heal, family. So we could grow. Let's heal before we build. This DS1 Ross. I'm signing out. Sheep Stay Sleep Live. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe and hit that bell for future notifications. Everybody have a good night. Have a good productive day tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.